Good day, everyone. We are the Group 7. Today, our topic is all about employee selection. We will talk about how company choose the right person for the job. We will go to the selection process, the different employee tests, types of interview, and finally, the do's and don'ts in making hiring decision. So, let's begin.
Good day, I am Cielo P. Magalona. So what is employee selection? Employee selection is the step after the recruitment. It means picking the right person for the right job. It is based on their skills, knowledge, and past experience. It is not just about filling a vacancy, but making sure that the employee will perform well and grow with the company. So, for example, if a school is hiring a teacher, they will not only check if the applicant can teach, but also if they can handle the students well. A wrong hire can cause problems like wasted training and poor performance that can hurt team morale. Imagine hiring a cashier who struggles with numbers. It will affect daily operations. That is why the companies should invest time in careful and systematic selection to ensure smooth workflow and avoid problems later. So here's a trivia. The studies show that in the Philippines, replacing a wrong hire can cost a company up to 3 times the employee's salary because of lost productivity and recruitment. So why does employee selection matters? If a company hires the wrong person for a cashier job, for example, at a sari-sari store or SM supermarket, customers may get poor service and money mistakes can happen. In the Philippines, banks and BPOs need reliable staff because mistakes can cost clients or put money at risk. Good selection also follows rules so the company won't face complaints for unfair hiring. For applicants, a fair process means those who are truly qualified get the job, not just those who know someone inside. Best example is hiring for a BPO call center role. The company uses an English test and role play to check communication. If they skip selection and hire anyone, call quality drops. Clients complain, contracts may be lost. So selection protects revenue in the BPO industry, a major employer in the PH. Selection steps should measure what matters to the job. For instance, asking about dancing skill for a data encoder is not job related. In the Philippines, companies must avoid discrimination and keep records private. Good selection is fair and can be explained if someone asks why one applicant was chosen over another. So there are 9 steps in the selection process. We have the first completion of application, the initial interview, pre-employment testing, reference or background check, supervisor or team interview, medical exam or drug test, hiring decision, and lastly, the job offer. So the hiring process is not just one interview. It is a series of steps. Different companies may add or remove steps, but these 8 are the most common. Think of it as a filter. Each step helps remove unqualified candidates until only the best one remain. Let's go through each step in detail. So the first step is the completion of the application form. The first step is the application form. This is where the applicants give their basic information, education, job experience, and preferences. In the Philippines, it is common to submit a biodata or resume together with a cover letter. So, for example, if you're applying to SM Supermalls as a cashier, your form should clearly show cash handling skills and previous work in retail. Employers use this to check if you are worth interviewing. Always remember that the application is the first impression. Many people exaggerate their resumes. For instance, some claim they graduated from a school they never attended. Or if someone lists fake achievements like a master's degree they never earned, it could cause big trouble later. Companies often reject candidates who lie on their forms, and they also do background checks to catch these false claims. So the step number 2 is the initial interview in HR department. The first interview is usually with the HR. The purpose is simple: to screen out applicants who do not meet the minimum requirements. This can include checking age, education level, or basic communication skills. For example, if a BPO company like Concentrix requires strong English and the HR interviewer may ask you to introduce yourself in English, if you struggle too much, you may not pass this stage. Or if a job requires 5 years of experience but the applicant has none, they are removed at this stage. Some companies in the Philippines even do group initial interviews to save time, especially in mass hiring events. So step number 3 is the pre-employment testing. After the interview, applicants may take different tests. This helps predict how well a person can perform on the job by their objective results. For example, a bank like BPI may give a math test to applicants for teller positions, while a call center might test typing speed and listening comprehension. The tests vary, but the goal is the same: to see if your skills match the job. Next is the step number 4, which is the reference or the background check. In this step, the company contacts your previous employers, schools, or references to confirm your claims. For instance, if you say worked at Jollibee as a service crew, HR may call Jollibee to check if that is true. Background checks may also include searching your name on social media. Some applicants lost the job offers because of offensive posts online. Another trivia: in the Philippines, some employers even visit the barangay hall to request a clearance or check police records. The step number 5 is the supervisor or team interview. At this stage, the applicant meets the direct supervisor or the department head. This is usually more job focused. For example, if you're applying as a marketing assistant, the marketing manager may ask about your ideas for promoting a product. They also check if your personality will fit the team. Even if someone is skilled, they need to work well with everyone. In the Philippines, many managers value pakikisama or the teamwork skills, not just technical ability. The step number 6 is the medical exam and drug test. Before hiring, most companies require a medical exam and drug test. This is to make sure you're physically fit and free from illegal substances. It protects both the employee and the company. The step 7 and 8 is the hiring decision and job offer. In hiring, the decision should not be based only on one trait, like he is very confident. It must be balanced. Skills, health, attitude, and integrity all matter. After all steps, HR and the manager decide if the applicant is the right fit. If yes, the company gives a job offer that closes the deal. While some offers are verbal, the safest is a written contract with salary, benefits, and working conditions to avoid misunderstandings. For example, if the candidate thought that the salary was 30,000 but the offer is only 20,000. Example, in the Philippines, the companies often prepare a job offer letter for applicants to sign, which seals the agreement. So we have here the pre-employment test. We have the polygraph or the lie detector, the honesty integrity test, graphology or handwriting, physical aptness, medical, drug test, and personality and interest inventories. Companies use different tests depending on the job. These measure honesty, skills, and behavior to get objective data. Tests must match the job. For instance, a heavy lifting job needs a physical test. A sales job needs a role play or ethics test. Tests make selection fairer and more reliable. Let's go through them one by one. So we have here the polygraph and honesty or the integrity test. A polygraph, also called a lie detector, measures heartbeat, sweat, and movement to see if someone is lying. But they are not always reliable because people react differently to stress and fear. In the Philippines, it is sometimes used in sensitive industries like security. Again, it is controversial because nervousness can affect the result. Honesty and integrity tests, on the other hand, are written exams asking about your values. These tests ask how often someone might lie or cheat or how they view honesty at work. They are common for jobs handling money, the bank teller or cashier, and they are typically more acceptable than polygraphs because they are self-report questionnaires. They should be validated and not used alone. For example, a bank may ask, if you saw a co-worker stealing money, what would you do? This helps measure if you can be trusted. Next is the graphology and physical aptness. Graphology studies a person's handwriting, like letter size, slant, and spacing to guess personality traits. Example, the big letters may mean confidence, but this method is controversial. Some companies abroad use it, but in the Philippines, it is rare and not considered scientific. Physical aptness tests are common here, especially for jobs in the military, police, and construction. Applicants may be asked to run lift weights or pass fitness drills. This ensures they can handle the demands of the job. However, this can sometimes cause issues if it is unfairly includes women or people with disabilities. And lastly, we have the medical, drug, and personality test. Medical tests are required by law but must be related to the job. This reduces discrimination risk and ensures only those offered get tested. For example, a call center may test vision and hearing since these are important for the job, or food industry workers need medical clearance to prevent health risks to customers. Drug tests improve workplace safety. They are common in transportation, aviation, and government jobs because they require clean records to prevent risks. Philippine law requires random drug testing in some industries. For example, the pilots are regularly tested to keep passengers safe. Tests should follow clear policies and privacy rules. Personality tests measure traits like teamwork, leadership, or stress handling. For example, SM may use personality tests for applicants in customer service to ensure they are patient and approachable. Test results may show if a candidate prefers teamwork or working alone, helping HR place them in the right role.
A job interview is a formal talk between a person who wants a job and someone from the company. The main aim is to see if the person can do the job well and fit the team. Interviews let employees learn things that a resume cannot show, like how you speak, how you think, and how you solve problems. They also let you ask about in the company. In the Philippines, interviews are very important because many companies hire foreign applicants directly. For example, BPOs test spoken English and restaurant check how candidates behave with customers. Interviews help both sides decide if this is the right match. So there's 5 types of job interviews. The first one is the structured interviews. A structured interviews is the same set of questions for every candidate. The interviewer writes questions in advance and asks them in the same order. This helps fairness and makes scoring easier. A special type is the situational interview. There the interviewer gives a job scenario and asks how will you act. For example, for a call center job, every candidate may be asked, a customer is angry about a bill. How do you handle it? This shows their problem solving and communication. Structured interviews are good for companies like banks and BPOs because they let the manager compare answers cleanly. The second one is the unstructured interview. An unstructured interview is like a free conversation. The interviewer does not use a fixed set of questions. They ask questions that comes up from the applicant's answer. This type can show a lot about the person because it allows stories and follow-up questions. But it can also be unfair. Two people may be asked different questions, so comparing them is hard. So next is panel interview. So panel interview has several interviewers asking questions. Usually 3 to 5 people join. Panel interview are common for manager roles or government jobs. They help pick up different views from different people. Panels can be scary for applicants, but they are fair because many people judge at once. So next is computer and virtual interviews. So computer and virtual interviews happen online. Some are video calls with our recruiter, others are automated. You record answer to set questions. Virtual interviews are common now, especially for BPOs or company hiring far away. For a virtual interview, check your internet, camera, and background. In the Philippines, many companies do online interviews to save travel and it because cost and speed of hiring. So next, I'll tackle about common job interview questions. Before we go to example answers, here are short tips. First, listen to the whole question. It is okay to take a short pause before you answer. Use simple example for your past work or school. Use facts and short stories. Keep answer to 1 or 2 minutes each. Use the STAR styles. It's situation, task, action, and result. This helps you tell clear stories. Now let's practice common question with samples. Answer you can adapt. So the first question is, how will you describe yourself? So this is the first question. The goal is to hear about your best work traits. Keep it short and job related. Here is a sample answer you can change. And the sample is, I am calm and hardworking. I finished my BS in management and worked 2 years as a cashier at a supermarket. I am good with numbers and customers. And for example, last month I helped speed up cash lines by organizing a simple QA system and waiting time drop. I like learning a new system and I am willing to work shifts. For the second question is, why do you want to work with us? Interviewers want to know if you really want the job and not just any job. So be honest and show that you know something about the company. Also say how your skill help the companies grow. So this is the sample answer. I want to work with your company because you serve many customers and your training program is good. I read on your website that you focus on fast, polite service. So I can help by using my 3 years of rating experience of customers happy and reduce complaints. For example, at my last job, I improved product display so customer found item faster and sales increased. This show you know the company and explain how you add value. For the last question is, why did you leave your last job and what is your future goal? For why you left, always be honest but positive. Do not badmouth your old boss. Say short reason like better opportunity, looking for growth, or contract ended. For goals, show commitment and growth. Example for leaving. I left because my contract ended and I wanted a stable job with more training. Example for goals. In 5 years, I want to be a trained team leader. I want to learn more about service with a small team and help improve customer service. This answer shows honestly and that you plan to stay and grow. These answers show honestly that you plan to stay and grow.
Good day everyone, my name is Leslie Ann S. Gabion, and now let's talk about the job interviews do's and don'ts. First one is do's. Number 1, prepare before the interview. Preparation is the most important things to do. Research the company, its product, customer, or recent news. Know the job description and match your skills to the requirements. Bring copy of your resume, certificates, and the ID. Practice speaking about your experience in a short story. For online interviews, test your camera, mic, and internet before the call. Being prepared shows respect and lower your nervousness. Number 2, dress, be on time, and greet well. Dress for the job. For office job, wear and simple clothes. For retail or factory job, neat and clean clothes are fine. Never wear jeans or loud color for formal interviews. Be on time. Arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. Greet with a smile and a firm handshake if appropriate. Introduce yourself clearly. And these are the small things give a strong first impression. Number 3. Communicate clearly. Answer with a clear example using the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. For example, at my last interview, that is the situation. We had the late deliveries. That is the task. I suggest a new delivery schedule. That is the action. On-time delivery improved by 20%. That's the result. Keep sentence short. Speak slowly and check if the interviewer understands. Maintain eye contact and show good posture. Show confidence and not arrogant. Last one is ask good question and follow up. Always ask 1 to 2 questions at the end. Good questions are, what would be my first task? Or how do I measure success for this role? These show interest. After the interview, send a short thank you message or email within 24 hours. Say thank you and restate your interest. This keep you memorable and professional. Now, let's talk about the don'ts. Number 1. Don't lie or exaggerate. Never lie. Employers check facts. If you say that you have the degree that you don't have, it can cost you the job or lead dismissal later. Be honest about your skills. If you're scored low on a test, say that you are willing to learn. Honesty builds trust. If you made a mistake before, explain what you have learned from it. The last one is badmouth others. Use phone or show unprofessional behavior. Do not speak badly about your former bosses or colleagues. This makes you look negative. Turn off your phone before the interview. Do not chew gum or smoke right before the interview. Avoid jokes about politics and family. Show respect in speech and behaviors. Being rude or distracted can lose the job. Even if you are skilled, saying you are willing to learn is a plus. But if you arrive late or use a slang word too much, it can hurt your chances and your reputation.
Now, let's move on to the permissible and impermissible questions. Permissible questions. Questions are permissible if they are related to the job requirements and asked for all the candidates. Example of it is the skills and the experience. Second, impermissible question. Impermissible questions are personal, intrusive, discriminatory, and unrelated to the job. Often pertain to protected characteristics like age, disability, race, religions, or family status.
Some interview questions are legal, some are not. Employers can ask about your skills, education, work history, licenses, and if you can work what required hours. For example, what school did you attend? Or can you work night shift? These are fine. But other questions are not allowed because they are invade privacy or can lead to discrimination. For example, to avoid, how old are you? Are you married? What is your religion? If an interviewer asks you a question you feel unrelated, you can choose to answer briefly and steer back to the job skills. For example, if asked, are you married? You can say, I can commit to the work schedule required. May I ask about typical shifts? This keeps the focus on the job. If a question feels illegal and you're uncomfortable, you may say politely that you prefer to focus on job-related topics.
Good day, everyone. I am Nicole M. Macawile, one of the reporters for Chapter 7 Employee Selection. In this topic, we will focus on how the hiring team makes the final decision to hire someone. I will explain the steps, the tools used, how to avoid mistakes, and how to give the job offer properly. By the end of this topic, you will know how employers choose fairly and how applicants are finally picked. Let's begin with why the final decision matters. The final decision is the moment all the work pays off. A good choice brings a worker who does the job well, stays longer, and helps the team. A bad choice can cost time, money, and team morale. In the Philippines, replacing a worker can be expensive because of training and paperwork. So the hiring team must be careful and base the decision on facts, not only on one good impression. Next question, who makes the decision? Usually, the hiring committee includes HR, the direct supervisor, and sometimes a panel of managers. HR checks policies and pay. The supervisor checks job skills, and senior managers may check the fit with company goals. In small companies, usually the owner may decide. It is important that each person knows the role and shares facts, not just opinions. HR often gives the official notice to the chosen person. What input do we use? Before deciding, the team reviews the application, test results, interview notes, reference checks, and background checks. Some jobs include medical tests or practical trials. Each input gives different facts, like tests show some skills, interviews shows communication, and references show past behavior. The team must gather all relevant information so the final choice is complete and fair. Here are some of the hiring decision factors: skills and competencies, fit with the company culture, and lastly, potential for growth. Good hiring starts with clear criteria. Decide what is must-have and what is nice to have. For example, a supermarket cashier, the must-haves might be basic math, honesty, and shift availability. Nice to have might be prior to retail experience. This stops the team from picking someone for the wrong reason, like only because they were friendly. Clear criteria helps the team to choose the best match for the job. The final decision depends not just on skills, but also on how well the applicant fits the company's culture and values. For example, companies often look for loyalty, someone who will stay long-term and not just hop from job to job. Managers also consider growth potential. Even if you lack some skills, if you show willingness to learn, you may still get hired. Next, the scoring matrix. A scoring matrix makes the decisions fair. Give each part a weight. For example, percentage. Experience 30%, skills 30%, interview 30%, and references 10%. A total of 100%. Or rate each candidate from 1 to 5 in each part. The highest score is the top choice. These methods reduces bias and shows why you chose someone. Avoid biases and ethical mistakes. Biases can hurt decision. Watch for choosing someone because you like them personally, hiring a friend or relative without checking, also known as nepotism, or being influenced by small things like clothing or accent. To avoid this, Use structured interviews, shared scoring, and blind resume review when possible. As all of us may know, in the Philippines, family ties or dynasties are common, but always check skills and records first. Ethics and fairness protect the company and its reputation. In reaching consensus, how do they decide? After scores are checked, the team discusses top candidates. Use facts like scores, samples from interviews, and references comments. If scores are close, consider who fits the team culture or who can grow into the role. Methods to decide include majority vote, consensus, or HR having final say. Document the reason for the choice so the process is transparent. If there is a tie, a practical test or a short trial period can help to decide. Now, making the job offer. When a candidate is chosen, give a conditional job offer in writing. The offer should state the position, salary, start date, and conditions like passing a medical exam or background check. Here, medical checks are often done after the offer. Keep the offer clear and dated. Allow reasonable time for the candidate to accept or ask questions. If the candidate negotiates pay, follow the company rules and be fair. Then, after the offer, there is onboarding and lessons. Once the candidate accepts, start onboarding. Prepare contracts, SSS, PhilHealth Pag-ibig forms, orientation, and training. Track the new hire's progress in the probation period. Also record lessons from the hiring process. What worked, what did not, and how to improve. Small companies learn fast. Big companies add these lessons to their hiring policy. For a trivia, companies that do good onboarding keep new hires longer and save money. What are the common mistakes that HR should avoid? Do not hire based on one strong trait only. Do not skip reference and background checks. Do not promise things you cannot deliver. Do not rush because a vacancy is urgent. Rushing increases risk. Always document decisions because records helps if questions arise later. These simple habits makes hiring more reliable and fair. Here are some tips for effective hiring. Keep records and reasons for hiring decisions. Train interviewers to avoid bias. Communicate clearly to all candidates. Documentation is important in case someone asks why they were not chosen. Training interviewers reduces unfair decision. And respectful communication builds company reputation, that even rejected applicants may apply again or refer others. And that is all for Chapter 7. In summary, employee selection is about finding the right person for the right job. It involves many steps, from application, interviews, and tests, all the way to the final decision and job offer. The goal is to avoid costly mistakes and build a strong workforce. Remember, selection is not just about what you know, but also about who you are as a person. I hope you learned new things today. If you have any question, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for listening.
Good morning, Mr. Gloraine. Here is my resume. Yes.
Let's start the interview. So, tell me about yourself.
Well, I would describe myself as a hardworking always try to meet deadlines, and I love and enjoy working with a team.
Next question. What is the reason you want to apply to our company?
Because I admire this company, because it's valued teamwork and growth. I believe that I can grow here while helping the company to succeed.
Next question. Now, if you get selected, how will you contribute to our company?
If I will be selected, I will share my skills to help manage tasks well and bring ideas to make our work more efficient.
Next question. Why did you decide to leave in your last job?
Well, first, I am thankful for my last job, but I decided to leave because I want to face new challenges and growth more in my career.
For the last question, what is your goal in the future and how that goal will help you to succeed in life?
Well, my goal in the future is to keep improving and become a strong leader. My vision is to create a new workplace where people grow together.
Okay, thank you. Advance congratulations. We will let you know the result in 1 hour. Congratulations! We are offering you the secretary. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for watching our roleplay. Now, let's explain the lessons behind what you just saw. First, you saw Leslie pass a resume or application. This is the first step in employee selection. It helps the company collect basic information about the applicant's background, education, and experience. Then came the interview. This is where the HR checks if the applicant is qualified to move forward. They observe attitude, communication, and confidence. Here, applicants answered structured questions like, "Tell me about yourself and why do you want to work here?" The purpose is to see if the applicant's skills, goals, and personality match the company. You also heard a reminder about interviews do's and don'ts. Do dress neatly, bring documents, answer politely, and maintain eye contact. Don't be late, don't use rude words, don't say, "I don't know," and don't forget to say thank you. After all the tests and interviews, the company makes a final decision. They check everything carefully, not just one positive trait. Once they are sure, HR gives the job offer. In our roleplay, Leslie was accepted for the secretary position. This shows the end of the employee selection process, where the applicant receives the offer and completes requirements before starting work. That's how applicants achieve their dream and companies find the right people.